A disturbing development has just surfaced in the investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. Authorities in Phoenix, Arizona have confirmed that a woman's body has been discovered near a canal, and the moment the news broke, a single question spread across the internet almost instantly. Could it be Nancy Guthrie? Tonight, we're going to walk through exactly what happened, what law enforcement has confirmed, and what investigators are now trying to determine. Because right now, the truth is still unfolding. Early in the morning on March 6, authorities in Maricopa County received a call that immediately triggered a response. Someone had reported an unresponsive adult woman near the Grand Canal Trail, not far from 27th Place in Phoenix. When officers arrived, they located the woman on the canal bank. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators quickly secured the area and launched a death investigation. But at that moment, there was one critical detail still missing: the woman's identity. And because of the timing of this discovery, coming just weeks after the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, speculation began almost immediately. To understand why this discovery has captured national attention, you have to understand the situation surrounding Nancy Guthrie. The 84-year-old woman vanished on February 1, and since that day, investigators have been working one of the most intense missing person investigations in the state. More than 23,000 tips have already been submitted to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Thousands of leads have been reviewed. Many have already been ruled out. Yet Nancy Guthrie has still not been found. So when news broke that a woman's body had been discovered in Phoenix, the question spread instantly across social media, newsrooms, and law enforcement circles alike. Was this the breakthrough investigators had been fearing? Within hours of the discovery, the agency leading the Nancy Guthrie investigation, the Pima County Sheriff's Department, issued a careful response. Officials said they had not been advised that the Phoenix Canal discovery was connected to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. That wording matters, because it does not mean the cases are unrelated. It simply means that, at that moment, investigators had not confirmed a connection. In investigations like this, law enforcement avoids definitive statements until identification is complete. And until the woman's identity is determined, the possibility, however small, still remains under review. There is another reason investigators are paying attention to this discovery. Location. Nancy Guthrie disappeared from the Catalina foothills, a community just outside Tucson. The canal where the body was found is located roughly 120 miles away in Phoenix. Normally, a distance like that would make investigators immediately rule out a connection. But this case has never followed typical patterns. Because weeks earlier, the FBI made a strategic decision that puzzled many observers. They relocated part of their investigative command operations from Tucson to Phoenix. At the time, officials said much of the work ahead would involve digital evidence, things like phone records, financial analysis, surveillance footage, data processing, all of which could be handled remotely. But Phoenix also serves another critical role in Arizona's transportation network. Major highways converge there. Air traffic passes through Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. If someone wanted to move across the state quickly, Phoenix would likely be part of that route. Now, weeks later, a body has been discovered there. One reason officials are approaching this development cautiously is because this is not the first time rumors about a discovered body have circulated during this investigation. Earlier in the case, a viral social media video claimed that a body had been found near Sabino Canyon. The video described alleged evidence of a struggle and suggested the remains might be linked to Nancy Guthrie. but investigators quickly shut the claim down. A spokesperson for the Pima County Sheriff's Department issued a direct response. The video was not accurate. That situation illustrated a growing challenge in modern investigations. Misinformation spreads quickly, sometimes faster than verified facts. And every viral rumor can flood tip lines with false leads, forcing investigators to spend valuable time separating fiction from reality. But this time is different. This is not a rumor. The discovery of the body near the Grand Canal is confirmed by law enforcement. Officers responded. A death investigation was launched, and the Maricopa County Medical Examiner has now taken custody of the remains. From this point forward, the identification process follows a series of established steps. The public often expects answers immediately after a discovery like this. But identification can take time. Typically, investigators will use several methods: fingerprint comparisons, dental record analysis, DNA testing. In a high-profile case like Nancy Guthrie's, investigators already possess extensive reference data, including medical records and DNA samples. That means if the remains belong to her, confirmation could come relatively quickly. If not, investigators will still work to determine who the woman is. There is another important factor investigators must consider. Nancy Guthrie reportedly has severely limited mobility. According to family members, she cannot walk long distances without assistance. That raises a major question. If the woman found in Phoenix were Nancy Guthrie, she could not have reached that canal location on her own. Someone would have had to transport her more than 120 miles across the state. That possibility introduces new logistical questions for investigators. Questions about vehicles, travel routes, and potentially whether more than one person was involved. Despite the intense public attention, law enforcement officials emphasize that the Nancy Guthrie case is still an active investigation. A dedicated task force continues to work the case full-time. Agents are still analyzing digital evidence, reviewing surveillance footage, and evaluating new information. Although tip submissions have slowed recently, investigators say there are still viable leads being pursued. In other words, the case is far from cold. For the Guthrie family, developments like this bring another painful waiting period. Every time a body is discovered anywhere in the state, the same uncertainty returns. For 24 to 48 hours they wait. Waiting for confirmation, waiting for answers, and hoping that the news does not bring the outcome they fear most. As of this moment, a woman's body has been found near the Grand Canal Trail in Phoenix. Authorities have not released the woman's identity. A death investigation is underway. Officials say no confirmed connection has been established to the Nancy Guthrie case. And until identification is complete, the central question remains unanswered. Nancy Guthrie is still missing. The investigation is still active. And somewhere, investigators believe someone may still hold the information that could finally explain what happened. If you are following this investigation, make sure you're subscribed. Because the moment authorities confirm the identity of the woman found in the Phoenix Canal, whether it is connected to the Nancy Guthrie case or not, we will break down everything investigators reveal. Until then, the search for answers continues, and the hope of bringing Nancy Guthrie home remains.